All right, welcome everybody. Yeah, I'm not sure where I am here in the Alps or something. But anyway, today we are going to talk more about Python and something very cool called lists. So, what a list is, and again, I'm going to be copying and pasting from a document that you will have access to as well. A list is just a ordered sequence of objects, and they can be of different types, or a collection of items in a particular order. And as you can see, I've got all strings here, but we'll do some mix, mix and matches here a little later. These are all strings. This is the variable here. And then we assign it a list of items. And there's 4 items. And as we're going to see in a moment, they're actually indexed 0, 1, 2, and 3. We have 4 items, but the index starts at 0. So let me go ahead and do this here. We're going to display what we have here. So what I'm going to do is a couple of things. I'm going to print, and then remember type. What type does, the type function that says, what is this variable? And it should tell us it's a list. And then I'm going to print my classes are, and let's see what it prints as far as the list goes. So let's run this. And we can see it says this type is, the class is a list. And it shows us a list with the brackets and everything just like we've got it here. We're going to see how we can print individual items of the list in just a moment. But I just want to show you, remember fprint? You're saying, of course I don't, Rick. I know a lot of this stuff, unless you're working with it all the time, and you do in a programming class. Programming class, you take, you'll be working with this stuff so much that it just really sinks in. But here's our fprint. So what I did here is I printed a string, then a comma, and then the variable. But I could just use fprint. So I put the F before this entire string. So notice we have the quote here and here. And then this here is just a variable in brackets. So let's run that. You can see I get the same exact output. Okay, so just to reiterate here, classes is a variable of type list. Okay, we use these square brackets here at both ends. And we separate items in the list with commas. And they don't, I have all string items here. So I got it, separated by with quotes there. That's probably not the best way to show that with quotes, but we could have different types, and we'll see that in a moment. Okay, so what I'd like to do before we get do different types in that, let me go ahead and clear this. We're going to keep the same list of classes here. We're going to play with it a little bit. So what if I just wanted to display the first item in the list? Okay, I'm going to put a space there so we can see it. The first item is item 0. The index is 0. Okay, so I'm going to put square brackets here and put a 0. Let me actually do this here so we can see print and what it's like if I just do classes. Okay, that'll print the entire list. And then this, well, as you can see, just prints the first item. No quotes or anything, just the value. Okay, so this is this here. Again, this is our first item. Let me go ahead and do a few. What if I do, let's say, if I do 0, I'm going to change that to a 1, that to a 2, and that to a 3. What do you think will happen? I'm going to get rid of this. So there we go. Let me clear this. What do you think it will print? Well, each item, and I've actually have them in order, the order as they're in the list. Well, let's run it, and we can see we have Math 4, CS1, CIS81, Art 101. 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. What if I added one more? I'm at the end of my list, aren't I? Remember I did that, Art 101. This is item 3. What if hey, let's add one more. What will it give me? It never hurts to find out. Okay, what if I put a 4 there? Okay, hey, let's see what happens. Not going to break anything. No fire start or anything. I get an error. Let's see what it says. What is this trace back? It's telling me that line 7, this is line 7, index error. Well, some not index. List index out of range. Well, that makes sense. I'm out of range. I don't have an item 4. Something I can do though, however. What if I did -1? Remember we did manipulating strings a little bit. What if I did -1 here? What would that give me? That would give me the last item in the list, which is Art 101. Okay. Well, what if I did -2? What do you think that would give me? Well, this is -1. What is -2? What do you think? You got it. This is -1. It's the second to the last. Matter of fact, how's that different from just doing this here? What if I just said, so CIS 81 right here this would be -1 going backwards. This would be -2, right? Okay. Well, this is 0, math 4. This is 1. Well, this is also 2. It just happens that they both are 2. But we can actually display it either from the first item in the list, 0, 1, 2, or the last item in the list. So let me do print classes. And again, the fact that this is a 2 is just a coincidence that it's -2 and 2. Just happens to be a coincidence. But 0, 1, 2 or -1, -2. Okay. And just to reiterate what I just said there, what if I did -3 or 1? So let's see that here. So this is -3, -1, -2, -3 going backwards. We're going forward 0, 1. Okay, so yeah, that worked both ways. All right, kind of fun, huh? We can manipulate these things. Let's see what else we got here. You know, one of the things is I talked about methods. So a method is somewhat similar to a function, like print is a function, this print function here, except it's associated with these objects, like a list is an object. Let me show you what I mean here. So here I have classes. I'll just keep my list here. Well, yeah, but I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm just, what I want to do, and let's get rid of that. We're going to do directory. Get rid of that. I'm just going to do print directory of list. Remember I said we have a list. So what this is going to show me is associated with that object type of a list that we just did. What are some of the commands I can use? Oh, we've got some kind of like functions that we can use with a list. We can do append. We'll do that in a moment. What else got I got remove. I've got I got a few things here. Okay. So anyway, let me clear this. Okay. And let's take a look here. Okay, so the first one I want to do is, what if I want to append an item to our list? So let's put our list back. Okay, so here's our list of classes. Okay, let's say I want to add an item to the end of the list. Okay, but what I can do is I can, well, let me just type it out so I can talk about it as we do it. Here's our list, classes. Okay. And what I want to do is use the method append. So if you remember in that previous directory, append was one of the methods. And what append does is it's just going to add this item to the end of the list. And let's say it's business 5. Okay. So let's do this. Let's print classes and see if it appends business 5 to the end of our list. And there we go. There's business 5. So here was our original list. Now we still have the original list, but we just appended business 5. Can I append, or let's say insert, I shouldn't say append. Let's insert. What if I'd like to insert a class, but I don't want to put it at the end. I want to put it, I don't know, maybe in the first position. Okay, let's do that. So again, we're going to use classes here, our same list. And I'm going to use, in this case, I'm going to use the method called insert. Now with insert, it actually takes 2 arguments. So by the way, when inside these parentheses, we call these arguments. These are values being actually passed to the method, to the function. Say, hey, use this. Just like, let me back up again here real quick. Just like here, I said append business 5. The business 5, if I can spell it, this we're passing this argument saying append this value to the end of classes, and that's what we did here. All right, but what I want to do is not append. I want to insert a class. So let me clear that so we don't get confused. Insert, and what I'm going to do is it actually requires 2 arguments. Where do I want to insert it? I want this to be in position 1. Now remember, the first position in a list is actually 0. So I want this to be in the 1 position. And then I'm going to pass whatever I want to put. Now this is going to be a string because all of these are classes or strings. So I'm going to say dance 10. Okay, and then I'm going to print classes. There we go. In position 1, we've inserted dance 10. Remember math 4, that's position 0. This is position 1. Okay. All right. What if, let's see, what if I want to insert something, dance 10, let's say at the beginning of the list. So let's clear this. I said, you know what, I want to put it at the beginning of the list. It's my favorite class, maybe. No, CS1's our favorite class. So let's, or CIS 81 maybe, for you networking people. But let's put dance 10 at the beginning of the list. So insert it at position 0. There we go. Okay. All right. What if this, again, we're going to keep here to dance 10. Okay. What if, again, here is my list, same list, right? But this time I want to remove a class. Oh, you know what? I want to remove Art 101. You know why? It's a tough class. I took an art class in college. It was probably my hardest class. I took a jewelry class. Oh my gosh. Really bad, Rick. Not good at all. Okay, remove. You know, we all have our talents. Art is not one of mine. Okay, remove, and I want to remove what I'm going to send it the argument Art 101. All right, and then I'll print classes. Art 101, we dropped it. Rick wasn't doing very good in art. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's we just a couple more things here. There's so much we can do with lists. It's very cool. Okay. Let's do this here. I'm going to show you that I can have a list of a bunch of different values. Look at this. I have a list. I call it stuff. Why is it a list? Because it's got brackets. And then it has all these different items separated by commas. You notice I have a string that's a single character. I have an integer, another integer. I have a string of 4 characters with a space. I have a real number and another string of a single character. Wow. Okay, what if I just do print stuff? what do I get? I get a lot of stuff, I think. There it is. Yep, I just get my stuff. Okay, but just like we learned previous, what if I want to print, I'm going to put a space here and a space here. What if I just want to print one of the values, one of the items, maybe the third item? Okay, so I have 0, 1, 2, 3. This would be our third item in the list. Okay, so I put a bracket. Okay, so here I'm printing specifically the third item in the list. Okay, let's run that. And there it is, CS1. This is item 0, item 1, item 2, item 3. Okay, can I do a range? What if I did 1:4? Okay, what would that give me? Well, I think you can kind of guess. This is the range, right? But let's see what it gives us. Wow, it only gave me 3 items. Let's see. Remember, so this is item 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 5 items in our list, 0 through 5. So item 1 would be the 7. So we got that. This would be item 2, 33. Item 3 is CS1. So just remember our for loop. Okay, it doesn't actually print just like our for loop doesn't actually evaluate to be true on the last value. It's actually one prior to this. So at this one, it stops. It says, I will print up to, but not including, excluding 4. So really, I'm just getting 1, 2, and 3 in this case. All right, something to keep in mind. If I wanted this one here, well, then let's do it. Let's put that in there. 5. Okay. Did I run that? There we go. So there we go. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now I'm printing 1 through 4. That's what this stop at 5. Stop at 5. Oh, the X, kind of an X. So that's okay. Let's take a look at a few others. Okay, what if I wanted to do, starting with the first value, I could do this 0 through, let's just do 0 through 4. Clear this. So this starts at our first value, 0, 1, 2, and 3. 0, 1, 2, and 3, stop at 4. What if I didn't put the 0 here? Let's clear this. Well, as we can see, it actually defaults to 0. So you don't put anything as far as the first value, it will default. Once again, this is a range. When we do this colon, I probably didn't. This is the starting point. That's where we're going to begin. And then we're going to stop right before. We're not going to include this one. This value is excluded. But this is our range. So using that colon there. All right. What if I did this? Okay. What if I did 0, but I didn't put an ending value. What do you think it defaults to for an ending value in our range? The default for beginning value is 0. What do you think the default for the ending value is? Well, you'd be right. It's the last item in the list. So in this case, well, really, we didn't even need to give a range. Okay, I could have just said this, right? Print stuff. Okay. If you don't give a range, it prints everything in the list. Okay, one last thing, right? And this kind of a little bit advanced, but it's not hard. Can we have one, see these items we have in stuff? Okay, different things, single character there, integers, string. This is also considered a string, real number stuff. But what, can I have a list inside of a list? What, are you kidding? No, let's take a look. What would that look like? A list inside a list. Well, here's our list. Okay, it's called My List. It has 3 items. Our first item 0 is just the letter A, comma. The second item in our list is a B, comma. The third item, which is item 2, item 0, 1, 2. So index value 2, we'll say, is another list. Wow, really? Yes, can we do that? Certainly. And by the way, within this list, okay, this is a 0. This is item 0 in this list. This is item 1 in this list. This is item 2 in this list. What? We'll get there. Let's first of all keep this simple. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just say print my list. I can spell my. Now I'm putting a space here and here, doesn't matter, but just so you can see it. Okay, there's our list. Okay, what if I said print my list and let's just say item 0? What do you think it's going to print? My list, item 0. What do you think it's going to print? Let's see and find out. Yes, the A. What if I put, let's add this. What if I put a 1 here? What is it going to print? Well, we got 0 is an A. 1 is, yes, you got it. A and then B. What if I put print my list, and let's do one more here, a 2. We have an A, a B. Well, what is item 2? Item 2 is a list. Can I print one of the items within this list? Within this list here, can I print one of those items? I certainly can. Let me get rid of this here so we don't get too confused. Okay. What I'm going to do is, here's my list 2. Okay, what if I do this? Print, I'm going to copy this. And what if I just added a 0 here? So I'm saying in item 2 of this list, print item 0. So here's item 2. So here's our first list. Here's item 2. Item 2. Item 2. Print in item 2, which is right here, print the first item. What do you think it's going to print? Let's run it and find out. Okay, so first we're printing the entire item 2 of the first list, 1, 2, 3. Let's just print the first value, which is a 1. You've got it. If I do, let's do 2 more here. I'm going to make this a 1 and this a 2. So within our list called my list, find item 2, 1, 0, 1, 2. Here's item 2. Within item 2, it's a list. It's got to be a list here for this to work. Print the first item 0, the next item 1, and the next item 2. And there we go. 1, 2, 3. Now there's a lot we can do with lists. Let me show you one last thing. Okay, one last thing we can do with lists. What if I had a list of ingredients? Okay, I don't know, Rick doesn't cook. Well, I do, I'm just not a good cook. I haven't poisoned anybody. If so, I don't know what that's kind of, that's the bar I set for my cooking. Okay, we have a list of ingredients. Okay, I can do something like this. I can have a little for loop. And I say for item in ingredients, print, don't forget the item. So here's a for loop, and it's going to loop through each item in our list. Now, just so we don't get confused here, that don't, I want to print a single quote there. But since I'm using single quotes here and here, I could use double quotes here and here, but I'm using single quotes. I don't want to change it. backslash single quote says just print a single quote. Okay, let's run this and let's see. Yes, so what happens is it just loops through the for loop through each item in the list. Okay, this is just a variable item that gets printed. So at first through our for loop for item and ingredients. So this is actually what's happening. We have a variable called item. You know what? Let me put that up here. We have a variable called item. Okay. We also have a variable called ingredients, which is this list. Okay. Okay, so what I'm doing here is says for item and ingredients. So first, item is going to have the value flour. Print, don't forget the flour. Then it loops through. Is this true? I mean, it comes up. Is this still true? Are there still values in this list? If there are, if that's a true statement, if we still have items in here, then go to the next item, which we've done. Go to the next item. Yes, we'd still have an item. So, excuse me, item, boy, excuse me. Item receives the next value in our list, which is eggs. Okay, so at first it was flour, now it's eggs. Come down here, don't forget the eggs. Go back up here. We go to the next value in our for loop. Goes to the next value. Do we still have a value? Yes, we do. There's still a value in here. It's lemon. So item gets the value of lemon. Print, don't forget the whatever the value is in the item, which is lemon. We come back up here another time, and for item and ingredients, we don't have any more items and ingredients. Nothing else there. End of our for loop. Okay. All right. I hope you find this helpful. If you're following along with my class, I do have all this code available for you. Okay. There's many other things we could do with lists. Again, if you take a Python class or a C class or C++ class, a lot of other cool things that you can do. We can sort things. We can take we can take any word in our list and have the first letter capitalized with the title method. We can do all kinds of pretty cool stuff. But you've got the basics, and I hope this is making sense. Watch this as many times as you want. Most important, type the code in. Try things, play with it, see what happens. All right, and enjoy. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.